the dark, and he still wets the bed to this day.
That's how you knew. Just because you woke up and yeah, that's not real.
I don't like to go that deep in my emotions, but I got that off my chest.
Welcome, guys, to the Claw Pod. Ross, Marshall, Von Erich. I'm your host, the AntMan, and our very first live after 15 episodes of this podcast. We thought, you know what? Let's go out without a net. How about that? It seemed like a smart idea. So, and this is how we started: is these guys talking about, or I say these guys. It's never these guys. It's that guy, Marshall, talking about his brother wetting the bed.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah. I never went that deep.
Come on.
I never went that deep. I feel like I need to get off my chest, though.
Don't even get me started on you, dude. You're quite the new guy.
Oh, wow. I had no idea that's the way this would go to start it off. Claudia says, woohoo. Yes, welcome, Claudia. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Miss Claudia's been the original from the and Bella. Gosh, man, that's awesome. I'm glad to be
our first ever show. Remember that?
Yeah,
in Kansas.
Dude, Claudia and the originals. Claudia's the original, but I remember her being in complete control of the crowd for two scared teenagers. It was perfect.
Yeah,
it was like having a crowd full of moms. It was awesome. Our debut,
most supportive crowd ever.
Thank you guys for being here for the live. Ask your questions, live Q&A here this morning. Yes, it is early, and I noticed somebody wrote yesterday. Yeah, just so you know that's 8 o'clock Eastern. Which that's not that early Eastern time. You know, here Central, it's about everybody kind of gets up and stirring. But man, you guys Mountain and West Coast, if you're here, check in and say hi. We want to get you up here because you're.
I'm not going to drop his name, but I got a DM of a guy getting mad at me saying it was too early. And I was like, what time do you wake up? And he's like, well, I'll wake up at 11, man. I was like, well, not everybody. I was like, what do you do during the day? And he has a normal job. He just wakes up at 11. But he's like, on his days off, I guess.
Must be nice, man.
Hey to Derek and hey to Andrew as well. Hey to everybody who's now popping on. Thank you guys for being here. It's my evening, says Kayla.
Where are you at, Kayla?
Yeah, I'd love to know where you are, Kayla. Where you watching this morning from?
Wait, okay, let's guess before she says it. Let's try to guess.
Okay. I think she works third shift.
Okay. My evening. So she thinks she's in a different country?
No, I think she works third shift here, Central.
Ah, okay. It was a pretty,
geez, dude. Okay,
pretty good guess.
I was thinking if she said evening and it's morning for us, right? Is that what you meant? Middle East. I'm gonna go crazy and say
go Middle East. All right. Playing a gamer. Glad I woke up just in time. Yes, you did. Oh, okay. Derek is in. I thought it was in Toronto.
Toronto, man, that's cool. I still have never gone to Canada.
Okay, there it is. There's Kayla, Florida. Night shift. Yep.
Dang.
That's my girl. There we go. Night shift.
You know what I was thinking is I want to go to, my son's obsessed with Legos right now and like Mario and all that stuff. Is it Universal Studios in Florida that has the actual Mario stuff, or is that the California one?
No, it's in fact there's a whole new thing, Epic Universe, I believe it's what it's called.
Yeah.
Universal Studios.
Oh, in Florida?
In Florida, yeah. And it's funny because Disney's running a big promotion on like hotel stays at Disney properties. It's super cheap to help combat. Yeah.
Okay. Dude, me and Ross, when we wrestled for TNA, they were doing the Universal Studios shows, which is awesome because it was like a built-in crowd.
Yep.
And what was cool too is Ross and I were we were in the baby face phase, and so that's why we grew facial hair, because we're like, you don't like to call pretty boy in the ring, but we're in there, and luckily God put some like teenage girls in the front row, and
you can tell they were just there. Like somebody was like, "Hey, let's go watch it."
No way they're wrestling fans.
But remember, I cut a little promo, and all the girls were like, "Oh!"
Everybody's being all tough and stuff, and then they're really too supportive.
Yeah.
Is it hot in Florida right now? I guess I could check. Let's see. Florida's my number 2. If we
for Texas, weather, it's
for Tennessee.
It's up there with Hawaii, man. It's
Florida is. Is it humid in Hawaii a lot?
Yeah, dude.
It is. Yeah, it is.
But we've gotten off the plane and it just sweat immediately. I already have a sweat problem. Like, man, I sweat so bad.
Glandular
superhidrosis.
Yeah, whatever. The doctor's trying to give me pills for it. But
y'all ready to jump into some questions?
Let's do it, man.
Live Q&A, just type them right there, and we'll try to get to all of them. We'll start with this one because it was actually posted yesterday. I didn't know you could actually do that when you have your live set up and ready to go.
Dude, that's what's up, man.
We're going to go to Melinda. Are you guys going to be at All In Texas in July?
Melinda, this is just for you. And I don't know if we're going to get in trouble for saying this, but we were told yesterday, yes, we are going to be in All In.
Hey, I'll do you one better. There's a show and it's going to be the first time we ever wrestled in El Paso, but
nice.
At the end of this month in May, we're going to have a show in El Paso. First time in a long time.
I didn't know that. So Melinda, we're hearing this for the first time together.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that. Let's see if you guys know about this. Andrew says, does the Von Erich family have the cosmic cowboy mask?
Dang, my dad was just talking about that.
That's a man.
I mean, I watched a lot of Von Erichs. I don't remember the cosmic cowboy.
It was the whole angle, man. Yeah,
Andrew, that was some hardcore stuff for you to bring that up. That's pretty sick.
You have to be a hardcore to really know about the cosmic cowboy.
Here, I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, but wait, wasn't Dad cosmic cowboy, right? Was it Uncle Kerry?
It said both of them.
Both of them. I'm pretty sure.
Was it in Texas they do that? Or Andrew, what do you know about it? I'm gonna look that up. My dad was talking about it while I was leaving their house, and so I was all sidetracked. My son was headbutting everything.
Either way, that would be a cool thing to revisit one of these days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you don't know if he has it or not, though, or the family has it somewhere.
He has a lot of. So we just found a lot of like gear and family memorabilia and stuff.
That's cool.
What was cool? I don't know if you got a chance to watch the Hollywood Demons thing.
I did.
You did watch it?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
How'd you like it?
Incredible. It was great. Just a really great job.
In your opinion, because you saw the Vice one too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. In your opinion, which one's better?
It's the best one so far.
Me too. Okay, absolutely. I agree. I thought it was just me. Me and Ross thought it really was the best one. I didn't want to make the Vice guys mad because they did a great job.
And when we talked about it here on the podcast, a lot of people said, "Oh yeah," and they commented on the video that they thought it was the best one as well.
Yeah, man. Because you hear from Lacey and Holly, which is awesome, and then my mom and sister, which are people that are all part of it. And I love my cousin Lacey because she really doesn't like to talk about it. She reminds me a lot of me and my Uncle Kerry, where when you're going through hard stuff, you like to joke your way out of it. No, really
the comic relief. I think a lot of people don't. I don't
understand
know if they totally get it sometimes, but like you kind of have to joke about it.
Yeah,
it's so heavy sometimes.
Some of the jokes Dad's made, people would be like, "Good Lord," but that's just he's different. He's not like other people.
Yeah.
See, have you guys ever met, or did you ever meet Andre the Giant? That's from Andrew.
Oh man, that would have been so cool.
Man, always wanted to. Did you know my Andre the Giant came to my dad's school in high school, and my dad wrestled a bear. And,
what? Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember? And then Andre the Giant was there, and I think there's the picture of him picking up all the like 4 teachers with each arm, holding them on their shoulder. So I think he did that kind of stuff a lot.
I remember there's a picture of Uncle Dave with Andre the Giant, and you can tell Uncle Dave's not used to being the small one, but they're standing next to each other. And Uncle Dave really does just look tiny next to Andre.
6'8" looks small, so he's like.
I know.
Here's a question from Claudia about that. So just so you know, you can watch Hollywood Demons. It's called The Real Iron Claw, I believe is what it is.
Yeah.
If you have Max streaming service, it's on there. So you can watch all episodes. There's and each episode is on something different. Episode 5 is on the Von Erichs. And Claudia said, how good is it for the family to have the ID show out clarifying all the Iron Claw movie got wrong?
Man, that's great question. And man, it's kind of a relief. I'm glad it's out there. And and it was really cool to hear, Chris Jericho, MJF, and
man,
a lot of our peers, talk about the impact the Von Erichs had. So that was a really cool thing.
Really unique and really different for MJF to speak like that.
Yeah, man.
I was like, where's the jab? Well, here it comes.
And we've talked to him, plenty of times in person and stuff. And I didn't know what information he's had, but what's crazy is it really made me, again, a lot of respect for him because it shows that he really is about what he says he is. He said, it upsets him when wrestlers that are currently wrestling don't know what's going on in wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's something me and Ross felt guilty about, because we didn't grow up watching a ton of wrestling. It was so a part of our lives that, you know, it's kind of something you want to not get away from, but it was everywhere. So we weren't watching wrestling all the time after a certain age or whatever. But now as a wrestler, it's even harder for me to watch wrestling, because I'm not watching it as a fan anymore. I'm not watching the storylines and all that stuff. But
remember when we first got into it, it was almost like taboo that, you know, there was like a weird air about wrestling at the very beginning. Like, we don't talk about that almost in a little, until we got into it. And then it was just like, okay.
You can tell it kind of made Dad not uncomfortable, but Dad was just like, you could see there's some stuff. It wasn't an easy thing for him.
He would walk in on us watching wrestling and just kind of like look at it and kind of sigh a little bit. You can tell, brought back memories, and they just walk out of the room. But
I get that must be, man. Imagine, because it's kind of the same thing what Goldberg was saying. Like, Goldberg was done, and then you have a son that's getting older.
Changes things.
It does, man. And you see your son, like, if he slips into it on his own too and starts watching it, and you're like, not only did I do this, but I was good at it, man. And I would have to tell my son. It kind of gave me a revamp. And Ross, when Solomon was born, we're both like, okay, he has to be able to say my dad and uncle are currently wrestling, at least till he gets to school, you know. And God's kept us alive since then. Okay,
some clarification here from Andrew, who's talking about the Cosmic Cowboy mask, asking if family had the mask that Kevin and Kerry won. He gives a little more information here. They were wrestling Gino and Chris as part of an angle. The two of them were avoiding the Von Erichs. They came down to the ring.
That's right. That's right. And it was like obvious it was them, right? But Uncle Kerry's like mannerism.
Especially Kerry, building the hair. I think, you know.
Yeah.
He has even Theo Vaughn commented on the hair. I mean,
he has such a particular stance. That was so funny. What did Theo say about Dad? Their hair, they were trans or something. I don't know, man.
Yeah, well, that you'd make very pretty trans women or trans whatever. Yeah,
and my dad does not care about his hair. He literally just doesn't try.
Are there any matches? This is from the Flaming Gamer. Are there any matches you've had that you wish went on a bit longer than the time that you had? Isn't that every match?
Yeah, man. There's a lot of matches like that. The beginning of our careers, Ross and I kind of wanted to just get in, get out, and especially in the beginning, because also there's a language barrier. Wrestling in Japan, I don't want to screw anything up. These guys already don't like us. You know, it's kind of more so in that regard. But as we progressed, I realized every time a match was over, I would feel like, dang, I don't have that thing where I feel like I want to rush to get out. I kind of want to be in there longer. That's honestly when wrestling started getting fun, is when I enjoyed being in the ring.
You want to talk about a little bit about current product for a second? We've got Derek asking, hey, Ross and Marshall, do you want a piece of the Death Riders? Claudio Castagnoli did attack Shibata last night on Dynamite.
What? Ooh. Death Rider? Do you want to? Yeah, I would take a piece of that. Death Riders? Man, see, I live by a barbecue place with real bikers. So they pretty much told me I was in already. Death Riders, they don't want the smoke.
All right.
Trust me, there's a reason. They know we're here. They know they know we're in AEW. They just hadn't come a knocking because they don't want to know who's answer the door.
I don't know if they're messing with our people, then it's a countdown at this point.
What's cool too is Shibata is we like love Shibata in Japan. In our time in Japan, one of our friends was like, study Japanese wrestling. It's disrespectful to not know what's going on in Japan. And so Ross and I just research. And we fell in love with the wrong guy because he was a different promotion. And we're like, oh, this guy's awesome. Like, no, we said talent from this promotion. And it was whatever. But Shibata, like, his style grabbed me and Ross so hard. And believe it or not, Ross actually took a lot from Shibata.
Yeah, no, before I even, ever got a chance to meet him, I was just naturally kind of modeled myself a little bit, off of what he did. And man, and then we meet him and he's the coolest dude ever, of course. So.
Ross, a funny story you can tell now is because Kenta's he moved back to Japan. I think he's back in Pro Wrestling Noah. Hideo Itami was his name in NXT. Yeah. But he was like just the actual coolest person you've ever met. I'm not trying to be weird. He really was he didn't do stuff that wasn't cool. And you could tell he was internationally cool because the way he'd walk in a room, everybody would just like stare at
No,
him.
I know it transcended
yeah,
language barrier.
it
Like,
was a
he would walk
thing.
in.
It was a thing amongst the other wrestlers. Like, why is he so cool?
Yeah, especially the foreigners. We're like, we've never heard him say any word in our native tongue, but we all know he's super cool.
Yeah, he smells good. He's everything about him was cool. Anyway,
moves cool.
Yeah, moves cool.
I don't know what he said, but he walk in a room, say like 2 words, the whole place laughs, walk off.
Yeah, and you can tell they're still talking about him when he leaves. But anyway, Ross and I got obsessed with him. We call it the Kenta effect, and all the other wrestlers already knew about it. Anyways, we're living in the dojo, and we find this basement with like all this wrestling memorabilia. And so Ross and I are, we were there for 2 freaking years, so we obviously start going in there and start digging around, seeing cool stuff and wearing sweats and all that. It turned into our house. Anyways, there were some sick shoes and a bike. And me and Ross were so bored. We're walking 4 miles a day to the mall. And Ross grabbed
I need some shoes. Like, wore a hole in mine, so I needed some.
Yeah. So Ross threw on some shoes that are exactly his size. And we double teamed the bike. I sat on the handlebars and we wanted to go to the mall or whatever. Come back. Turns out it was Kenta's shoes, Kenta's bike. And he was in the building as we got there, and we barely made it through without getting
dude, remember I was wearing those shoes, and then I took his bike for a joyride one time, and then like you were saying, I got back like a minute and a half before he walked in the door.
No, I was on the handlebars, dude. Zach Sabre was there right when we pulled up, and he's like, "Put everything back. He's here. Put everything back." And I was like, "Oh gosh, man, that sucked."
Keep your questions coming. Listen, you're watching right now on YouTube, and you haven't hit subscribe. Hit subscribe. We're going to do these. This has been fun already so far this morning, and maybe we'll mix up the time too. I get it. Not all of the people who wanted to be here could be here this early. For me, it's just not early. I'm also up at 5:30, so 7 o'clock is like, oh, cool. I've been up for a couple hours.
Anthony sending me TikToks at 4 a.m. man.
Yep. You don't watch them till 4 p.m., but that's okay. We have one here from Mary. What is the most important unwritten rule of wrestling?
Oh,
can you name just one?
Question. Okay, I need to have these. I always wondered how like wrestlers would have answers right away for awesome questions like that, but I realize you get answers by answering. Here, Ross, you go.
Okay, it's if you think you're going too fast, slow down.
Oh yeah. That's the one you hear the most from other wrestlers. Yeah. That's good to know, and you can always apply that because you always try to when you're in the match, you feel like if you're doing it fast, you're doing it correctly, but not everybody knows it. Yeah, I got you. That's actually a good one to know. Mine would be when I scream during clotheslines, they get a better reaction.
I'm glad somebody else is here with me, Claudia. Thank you. Up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I know, Miss Claudia. You're up at 5 a.m. What are you doing at 5 a.m. on your normal day, Miss Claudia? Besides destroying everyone that's a hater with VD Nation.
There's a lot coming in. If I missed your question and you want to get it on here, just type it in again. And so there's a lot in the queue. So and then just comments to each other. So I want to make sure and grab your questions. If you have one coming in, the guy who played in Arrow that's friends with Cody, his name is escaping me, and he actually is doing a really great job right now on Suits LA. I don't know why I would know if we weren't live right now. I would remember his name. He wrestled a match with Cody, and Triple H told him that advice is like, if you think you're going too slow, slow it down. And then, basically, and then just keep slowing it down. And it was like, at some point, you're standing still, right?
Yeah. Every generation will tell you that too. No matter, where you're at.
Man. That's you always hear. Even if the guy, if you're asking a vet, like, hey, did you watch my match? How'd you like it? You can tell he didn't watch it if he says, remember, just slow down. I was like, I did. I know you didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's the universal advice.
That's the advice. Same one over.
Ross is laughing about that, man.
Got one here from Vincent. Is anyone else from your family going to step into the ring, or maybe someone has already started training?
We got the little boys coming up. I know we have a few nephews that are right now really, really want to do it. But what Ross and I are realizing is, at least with our friends that we've gotten into it, wrestling really isn't for everybody. And you really have to love it because you forget it is really hard. It's extremely hard. And we just forgot. We forgot it's hard because, you know, we've done it for so long now, doing matches and stuff, but the getting like broken in wrestling it's testing.
It's a process.
It's really testing. Yeah.
I think I told you guys I did one match and I trained up for it. This was a long time ago. So I'm 48 now, and this was when I was in my mid to late 20s. So that tells you anything. This is mid 20 plus years ago, and it was the most painful thing that I've ever done.
It is. I know.
I felt like I aged a good, I don't know, 20, 30 years just from one match. And I know it's because my body's not used to it, but even I mean, I spent a month taking bumps, learning how to do the stuff I needed just for the match that I did. And I remember leaving when I would go to practice, I'd leave sore. But when I left the match, I felt like an old man. Dude, my hips were hurting.
How'd you feel in the mornings? Like the morning after?
I didn't. It took a while to get up the next
morning. That was the most difficult part in Japan when we first started, because our bodies weren't acclimated yet. Was having to wake up at 4 a.m. and go do it again. Your body's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Yeah, everything in your body is saying, "Don't do this."
No, when you very first did it, which one hurt worse, taking a bump or running ropes?
I think the bump, we were coughing blood.
The combination of both really sucked, but I would say the ropes, like people don't realize how bad the ropes are. You have bruises all the way across your back, like hematoma, and then it's
I forgot
so sensitive.
That's
the next day, and then you got to do it all over again.
I'm glad Anthony mentioned that. I forgot how painful that was.
And really people, you can tell I'm speaking like I know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I do know that you don't hit the ropes with the flat of your back. You hit it underneath your arm so you could hold on to it, right? So you don't, etc. And there's steel cables, guys. There's steel cables just wrapped, unless you're, some organizations use real rope, but it doesn't feel better than steel.
It's still super tension.
It's not elastic.
No, exactly.
I know that's what you think when you're a kid. It's like a springy.
Yes, it's funny. What we love to see is either a kid or sometimes grown-ups. You can tell they've always wanted to get in a wrestling ring. And we had a friend, Dennis, that did it. He's like, I just want to take a bump. And so he got in there and just jumped on his back, and he got whiplash, whacked his head super hard. And he's like, that was really painful. I'm like, yeah, man.
He's like, I don't think I ever want to do that again. He's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
Shout out to Dan, who just popped on. Thank you guys. New guys popping on right now. We are doing a live Q&A. So if you got a question for the guys, drop it here, and we will sure try to get to it. Have one from Alma Clark. What's up, Marshall? Ross, also known as Hottie.
She got those mixed
stuff. What's up, Alma?
She meant Marshall Hottie, but yeah, what's up, Alma?
How are y'all doing this morning? Hello, VE Nation. Miss all of you. Hope I can be there for all in July. What's your favorite thing to do for fun?
Ooh.
I know Marshall's just make fun of his brother.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Marshall's got a pretty sad life.
I like VR.
I like to garden. I like plant. Do you know what, Marshall? I planted a bunch of Texas native blackberries yesterday.
That's the guy that just said I had a sad life.
Okay. At least flowers. Mine's gonna make a lasting impression. Okay, and yours is.
I was reading something. I'm sorry. Were you picking them? Blackberries?
No. I just.
Oh, you planted blackberries?
No, I haven't picked them yet, but I just planted some. So.
Got it.
Oh man,
yeah. You just doing that sounds so good.
But blackberries have a huge reason to why we moved back. Like so, when we moved, Ross and I grew up, especially. I don't. Yeah, he was just as bad as I was. But when I grew up,
all were. Yeah,
we were like when I was little, I would wake up, get a belly full of blackberry. I'm fully naked too. We have it out in the country. Run out in the country. I would just be a 5-year-old little boy. I'd fill up on blackberries and plums, and that was what I was the most homesick for when we moved to Hawaii.
Yeah,
and I remember we had an argument with Dad. We were in Hawaii for like 2 months, and Ross had just gotten a fight at school. I didn't have any friends, so Ross and I bonded a lot more because we didn't have any friends over there. It was like a perfect. When we first moved over there, and I told my dad, I was like, man, I'm not like a surfer. I'm a blackberry eating country boy. I hate it here. You got to get us back to Texas. And so anyways, we've been here for probably a year and a half. I took my kids and wife on a nature walk like 3 days ago. And dude, it was, it was so awesome.
Can I share something? I'd never had a blueberry or blackberry until about 3 years ago.
What?
No way.
What is there no blackberries? Like, is it harder to see in this part of Texas?
It had nothing to do with that. It was that I hated the smell of blueberry muffins, so I thought I had blueberries. Yeah, cannot stand the smell of a hot blueberry muffin. It smells awful to me. Blueberries and blackberries to eat though are amazing.
That's probably the scariest thing about you. That you should start any promo with.
Get checked out.
Get fired? Is that what happened? I got booted.
I feel like Bruiser Brody would hate the smell of them.
Would he? Yeah. Hezekiah Thomas, thank you for checking in, dude. Big fan of you guys. Can't wait to see you in the future. In the future, Von Erichs versus Bucks program is money.
Dude, thank you, man. Hezekiah, what a sick name too.
He also had a question here. My question is, dream match right now for active wrestlers. So a dream match you guys have with current active wrestlers.
A dream match that we've had that is becoming more and more real is FTR. And the fans kind of put that one in our ear like 4 or 5 years ago, and then we started to really just want to do it now. And watching how they wrestle, we think we could have so much fun. I'm glad we did was Briscoes too. The Briscoe brothers. That was the first time we wrestled a brother tag team. Like, okay, these guys, they're different. They're like us. It was cool to have that brother bond, because I feel like it's kind of hard to get close to me or Ross, but when you meet us together, it's kind of feels like it's easier. But like to get close to like an individual, the same thing. It was the same thing with the Briscoes. I felt like it was kind of hard to get like.
And the Young Bucks that's another one.
Yeah, Young Bucks too. Of course,
that'd be cool to see. Yeah, brothers there. Claudia, I don't know. I mean, I still don't like the smell of hot blueberry.
Thank you, Miss Claudia. Yeah, Miss Claudia knows.
Said it for me.
Yeah,
that's Claudia. I don't know.
He's a psychopath now.
But I love blueberries now. So does that count for anything?
Yeah. Wait, still, so now you love blueberries? You still hate this? So it's the muffin you don't like?
I think it's the hot blueberry.
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Good cold crunchy blueberry, I'm in. And it's kind of funny. You have to for me, you have to be crunchy blueberries and soft blackberries.
Heck yeah. My favorite blackberry is one that's been heated up by the sun. That's been sitting like in the sun for a long time. Heat. Yeah, dude. Oh man, that's good.
Well, guys, it's about time to wrap up here. Anything else we need to hit? I know. We talked a little bit about All In. That's coming up on July 12th. On July 11th, the night before All In, that is the Ring of Honor pay-per-view that's going down at the esports arena.
And I saw her face on a poster, so I'm assuming
they did.
We dare.
You got to put the 6-man tag on there. That's for sure. And so I would presume that you guys will be defending that there. Although that's just me guessing. I have no inside info. To be honest, these guys don't have any inside info unless they.
I hope they know. I have it in our contract saying that now that as champions, we demand on not wrestling hard opponents, so we can keep our belts longer. So hopefully, I'm so scared.
But so you mentioned a show coming up in El Paso that you guys are going to be a part of. That is a Dynamite, I believe, right? A Dynamite.
Yeah,
I believe so.
I don't know what we're doing, but we'll be there because we bought our tickets. They said, please don't come. We said, we're coming. So we're coming
anyway. That always works out well when you just show up. Yeah. So
I want to see if those Death Riders are about it or not.
Again, if you hit subscribe here, do that, because anytime we go live, you'll be alerted, and we'll let you know a day or two early that we're going to pop on and at what time. So thank you for waking up early with us this morning and hanging out a little bit with us, and hope you enjoyed this Q&A. If you did, drop a comment on this video after it posts there on YouTube, and let us know, and maybe you're watching this right now back after we did the live. And you want to be alerted of when we are going live again. Ask your questions, hang out with the guys. You can do that. Just make sure you hit subscribe to the Claw Pod right now, and you'll know. Guys, it's been fun.
It's been awesome.
Thank you guys.
Love you guys. Hanging out with you again next week here on the Claw Pod. We'll see y'all later.